Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm here today with another lesson of drawing. We are on the second rule of drawing, which is proportion. If you can remember, we talked about rules of drawing and how many rules we have, which is 3. We have angles, proportions, and review. We already talked about angles and we learned that when we want to draw a model, it's really important to first forget about any details, forget about any curved lines, and try to actually translate whatever curved line that you can see to straight lines, so that way you have angles. And that was framing your work that I did on this model. You can see I framed this hand and all the fingers are framed right now. All the lines are straight and I can start with, you can see, just straight lines and angles. But the second rule of drawing is proportions. And let me start with just a drawing with the first rule with angles to show you how much proportions are important. Imagine that right now I'm just going to copy this thumb and let's start with a line. Okay, that's the first line. This one is this line. Okay, now follow my lines and check the angles. Okay, this one is almost correct. Okay, now I have the first and second angle. But okay, let's go to the third one. Probably this one is good. And now this one. Okay, this one. And this. Okay, and this one. Now, I know that the shape is not correct. It's totally off. You can see it, I can see it. But let's go one more time. Let's check the angles together. See if the angles are correct or not. And keep it in mind that I don't want it to be 100% correct. Just 90% correct is enough for me because I'm not a copy machine and I don't want you to be a copy machine. So it's okay to make a mistake. So let's start with this angle. Can you see this one? Compare it with this. I feel, I'm talking about this one and this one. I feel it's almost correct. Okay, this one and this one. Maybe I could make it a little wider, but okay, again, it's not that much off. So let's say this one is correct too. Correct. Correct. It could be better, but again, it's correct. And correct. Okay, now why this came so off? Because the proportions are not correct. The proportions of each line in comparison with model. Imagine if I wanted to draw the model same size. I started with the first line almost the same size. The second line you can see is a little longer than model. Just a little, but it's longer. Now look at this third line. Wow, it's way longer. Okay, so now this one was the same. These two are longer. This one almost the same. So let's say same, same, longer, longer. This one, in comparison with this, is shorter. So this one is short, almost, well, I can say, okay, a little shorter. So shorter, and this one is longer. Well, of course, this shape is going to be off. Well, that is totally off. And now we know what we should do to make a drawing correct. If you were starting with the same size, you have to continue with the same size. This means that the drawing is going to be the same size of your model. But now imagine I told you that, okay, draw the same thing, the same model, but draw it twice bigger. Now, what should you do? First of all, you have to start with a line. This one is almost the same size. Now, let's continue the line and double it. Now I have two of this line, same size. Now let me fix the angle. Okay, that's the correct angle. But now you can see my second line is the same size of the model, but I wanted this drawing to be twice bigger. So I have to draw another line, same size. It means that I have to draw the first line twice longer, the second line twice longer, the third one, the fourth one. Each one of those lines should be twice longer. This way, all my drawing is going to be twice bigger than this. Now, what happens if I want to draw it smaller? Well, easy. You have to just draw each line half of what you can see. Okay, that makes sense. How you can do it? You can start with a line. Now, let's say my line is shorter than this one, shorter than the model, but it's not half of it. It's just a little smaller, okay? Our drawing is going to be a little smaller. Again, let's be careful about the angle. This line that I draw right now, it's almost a little even longer than what I have here. So now I have to be careful that because I want everything to be smaller, I have to erase part of it to make it smaller. Okay, this is better. And now let's go to the next line. Okay, this one, this next line, again, I have to make it a little shorter. Well, that's good enough. Again, don't forget, right now it's the same size. The angle is not correct. I have to fix the angle. This angle is better, but right now it's the same size. I want it to be shorter, so probably I have to start from here. Okay, again, shorter. Now, you can see this thumb, it's almost correct, okay? I mean almost, because actually I have to draw the rest of it and see how they work together and compare them together to see if it's correct. But even till now you can see it's working, it's correct, because I was careful that if I'm drawing the first line shorter, all the lines must be shorter. If I'm drawing the first line longer, all the lines must be longer. So now you know that what is proportion. Actually, there is another way of fixing and comparing proportions, which I'm going to talk about it in next video. But just keep it in mind that the rule of angles and the rules of proportions, they are working together. You cannot finish your drawing just based on angles and then come back and check the proportions. No, that's not working. What is going to happen is this. You don't want this, because this is not fixable. You have to start drawing it again. So as you saw here, I draw the first one, the first line, and based on the proportion, based on the size that I want to continue, then I draw the next angle, and then the next size was based on the first one. The next size was based on the previous ones. So angles and proportions, you have to check them and work them together. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, but this lesson is not over. In another video, I'm going to explain more about proportions and how to make it easier, because to be honest, look at this. If you want to just go based on comparing each one of them and just saying that, okay, this is twice bigger, half of a size, just a little bigger, that's going to be complicated and you can make mistake, and that mistake can ruin your drawing. So there are other ways which can make this easier. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you have any question, comment it, and if you want me to cover anything, any subject, please comment it on this video, and I will go to that as soon as possible.